I say no to everyone. I say no to my kids. I say no to my wife. I say no to my clients. And that's because I want to protect everybody and myself. Welcome to the Growth Beyond Hustle podcast.
Today, we are talking about something that can completely transform your business. Welcome to the Growth Beyond Hustle podcast. Today, we're diving into the art of saying no, how to protect your time and energy. I'm Adrian Lee, your host, and I'm here with my co-host, Kristian Livolsi. Welcome, Kristian. Great to have you here, dude. Now, saying no can be tough, but it is essential for protecting your time and energy. And in this episode of the Growth Beyond Hustle, myself and Kristian explore why setting boundaries matters, how to say no gracefully, like this, and the incredible benefits of prioritizing what truly aligns with your goals. So, Kristian, how are you, dude?
I'm good, man. I'm really pumped to talk about this. You know that no is my favorite word, so it's what a cool topic. I love saying no. I say no to everyone. I say no to my kids. I say no to my wife. I say no to my clients, right? And that's because we want to protect. I want to protect everybody and myself. And you know, I think Commonwealth Bank once went out with a campaign. They can. Well, they lied, right? Because they can't give everyone home loans, and they can't give everyone what they need. But they went out with I can. Whereas, you know, I like to say no, we can't, right? Yeah. And no, you will not take my time. So anyway, there you go, dude. I'm great. I'm excited to be here, man.
Dude, you've shown me how to say no many times, so I appreciate it.
I'm always teaching you to say no.
I know. I've said it probably 4 times in the last 10 seconds. Dude, today we're diving into an essential yet challenging skill and the art of saying no. Why do you think so many coaches and consultants find this so damn difficult?
Adrian, look, it's a common struggle. It's not just coaches and consultants, it's people in general. Because saying yes often feels like the right thing to do. And then you've also got all these people out there that are yes people, right? And I try and avoid hanging out with yes people. I prefer people saying me no. Because people then often say the yes people are the ones that always say that I'm demanding. The people that say no often totally understand me. So it's tied to wanting to help, and that's the biggest problem for most people. And also people crave relationships, Adrian, and also they want to avoid conflict. So they say yes. Whereas me, I lean into conflict. You know that. I love it. I love having a good rumble and tumble, and not in the violent sense, but in the word. But in reality, saying yes to everything actually means saying no to your priorities, no to your energy, no to even your well-being. And like where I've really sucked at that is for all these years, I constantly say no to my well-being because I say yes to working more. And, so even I succumb to that because I love what I do and I love doing so much of it. And because I really want to help. But, I've got to, I say no more than I say yes. Could you imagine if I actually said yes more than I said no? I wouldn't see my children. I wouldn't see my wife. I mean, my wife might like that. No, I'm kidding. She wouldn't. But no, the truth is that, you've got to be able to say no to set boundaries.
Dude, interesting. Let's explore the stakes here. So what happens to coaches, to consultants, and just human beings in general when they don't learn to say no effectively?
Dude, they get overwhelmed and burnt out, right? How many times do you hear it? They're so consistently stretched thin, right? Like I see it even in the coaching programs that we're in, not our own, right? Because we manage that. But I look at a couple of the programs with our coaches that I'm involved in, and I constantly see it. I'm so overwhelmed with this. I'm so burnt out. I'm so tired. I'm like, why the fuck are you burnt out and tired? You're a fucking coach and consultant. And you know what it is that all they're looking for is how to get the next lead, how to get the next deal, how to do more delivery. And that's, again, instead of actually understanding, fuck, man, where's your strategy? Where's your focus? And that's the other thing. They lose focus. They get caught up in the tasks that don't drive real results. And and a lot of the time it's like coaches and consultants, they're always, what's your problem? Leads. Fucking leads isn't your problem. You're the problem, man. And I'm sorry if you're on the other receiving end of this, but you need to acknowledge you're the problem. If you don't acknowledge that you're the problem, then that's the problem in itself, right? But the other thing is, man, it's missed opportunities. They're so fucking busy, right? Saying yes to everything, to all the small things, and they're missing out on all the things that matter. And ultimately, Adrian, it can damage their reputation when they overcommit and underdeliver. You know, like so many people overpromise, but then there's this other side of it is overcommitting, right? And underdelivering. Okay. And and working stupid hours in order to achieve stupid gains. You know, like I think one of the podcasts we talked about Pareto's law, the 80-20. I interviewed you about it. It's that same thing. You need to understand that area and you need to set those boundaries, man.
Mm. Dude, this really hits a nerve for me. Like, especially because I've been through it myself.
Yeah.
Saying yes to too many things when I should have said no. And it cost me a lot of time with my wife and that family at the end of the day, in the early days. And yeah, dude. So, mate, can you share a time when saying no was a pivotal moment for you?
Absolutely. How long do we want to be here? But the thing that comes to mind first is very early on in my career. I used to say yes to every single customer, right? You remember I started in hospitality, and so we were taught the customer's always right. And I can tell you now, the reason why I became a disruptor was because I believed the customer very quickly was never right. This is a medium well done steak, and they'd come back to you and go, no, 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 that's rare. It's like, no, mate, it's a medium well done steak, right? And that's what I'm trying to get at. So as I learned very early on that even the ones who, these customers, you would always get customers in anything that you do, but I learned it in hospitality who were never going to be satisfied or happy with anything, right? And so we now call that the right fit, and you know that in my program, Growth School, you can't get into Growth School. You can't buy it. You can't join it. You actually have to sit a fit interview, right? So if you want to join, you have to put in a thing and say, "Yep, I want to. I'm considering joining." After reading what we do, a lot of our work is referral. It's other business owners telling other business owners that they want them to be part of our program and our mastermind and our strategic thinking. And then they have to sit the fit interview. If they get past the fit interview, right, then they get to do an application. And in an application, they got to give us everything from their financial statements to how they operate their business. Like it takes them probably good 30, 40 minutes. And people say to me, why do I have to do all this? I'm going to be paying you. Yeah, but I want to make sure that I can actually make you all the money that I think I can make you. Right.
Mm,
And then, so the cool thing is that, you need to find the right fit. Right. And I think
mm,
that's, instead of saying yes to every single customer, that's the point I'm trying to make as a coach and consultant. You got to find the people, you got to pick the winners, man. How many of you out there are listening to this today know that you spend 80% of your time with the people that pay you the least and are fucking not making any money, yet the people
mm,
that pay you the most and are making all the money are the ones that are the best listeners, and yet we only give them 20% of our time. Well, that doesn't happen in my world anymore. Hasn't happened for a very long time. And I have been called a lot of names for having that belief. And some people insult me by saying, of course, you have, this huge revenue success rate. You only pick winners. Mate, I pick winners in the mind, not winners in their numbers. I've got people in my companies that, one client that's doing $2.5 million in Australian manufacturing, and they were going broke. And I thought, no, I can do this. I'll jump in and I'll instead of getting paid up front, I'll take, a bigger chunk of cash at the end. And now they're making 12, 13% profit in 7 months. Change their
mm,
fucking life, change the fight, like their family and everyone else. So, it's not just about picking the winners on finances. It's about
mm,
picking the winners in their mind, right? Because that
mm,
leads to less stress, less frustration, right? And less subpar results. And one day, right, mate, one day I even declined a project that didn't align with my expertise. And it was a fucking turning point, right?
mm,
And a week later, a dream client came along that, that opened the door to even a bigger yes. I mean, even just a couple of weeks ago, I had a client that's 50 million bucks. They want stakeholder management. So this is in the advisory business, and I've got a client at the moment that's doing about 10 mil. Really love working with her. She's super smart, And this is a bigger company that came to me, and they put up $500,000 of consulting fees on the table. No shit. Like, they're like, that's how badly we want you. We know that you can take us from 5% profit margins up to 15%. Now you do the maths. If I can increase them by another 10%, that's $5 million. And they offered me $500,000. And I turned around and I looked at it and I said, yeah, but I got to give you like 20 hours of my time a week. I said, no way. Because it was going to consume me. Right. And I'm like, no way. I said, so I only take a certain number of one-on-one clients, but also I then rang my other client and I said, listen, I'm going to commit to you 10 hours a month. Right. Do you want that? And she's like, absolutely. With this client, even though she's only doing 8 million, we found 10% in the fact that the accountants couldn't find, that no one else could find in 2 strategy days. So she spent 25 grand, right, to have me for 2 days. And in those 2 days, I found her $800,000, right? And yet people think that, guys like me are expensive. We're cheap. We're cheap, right? It drives me fucking crazy. And so they go out and hire shit people for $200 an hour, right? Or 3 grand a day. Like, what are you going to get for 3 grand a day? Seriously, right? So ironically, that's how you got to learn to say no. And you got to have those boundaries. Now, I'm not sitting here boasting, man. You know that. You know all the other shit that I do that's even bigger than that. The reality here is it's about making everyone understand that in order for you to get the bigger clients, you got to manifest them, but also you got to be able to say no to the shit you don't really want. And the problem is we get so desperate, right? We get so desperate. You've been there. I'm going to take all this work, and then you're like, Kristian, I can't fucking keep up with all these people. I'm like, fuck them off, right? Like, get rid of them, and you did. Then you purge, right? And you get it's no different to social media, right? Like, I found out the other day an interesting statistic. I digress for a sec, but I think it's important. An interesting statistic that on platforms like IG, if you have, like I had 8,500 followers on IG, but we're getting very little engagement. And so what I've done is I actually got my VA to start going through and cleaning it all up. I think I'm down to like 6,500 already. So I said, anyone who's not posting regularly on Instagram, like within last 30 days, and haven't engaged with us, get rid of them. Because what I've discovered is the Instagram algorithm, and this is apparently something that's been put through everywhere, right? And I'm happy to be challenged on this if I'm wrong, but I'm not. I know that I'm right because it's already working. The moment you start getting rid of people that aren't engaging, guess what happens? The algorithm goes, oh, your content is really, really important. And it's really good because your percentage of people that engage with you goes up. So you're better off actually having only 2,000 fucking followers, right? Where your engagement is 20, 30%, because then the right next people are going to see your shit. So fuck the vanity metrics, ladies and gentlemen. It's the same thing of saying no. I know I digress, but I'm trying to make people understand the mindset that you need in order to go bang.
Dude, this leads in perfectly to the next question, which is what mindset shifts are necessary to make saying no easier and more effective?
Look, Adrian, first, man, you got to understand that saying no isn't rejection. It's redirection. Okay? Okay? Everyone out there, it's not rejection. It's redirection. Okay? Second, every no to something unaligned is a yes to something that truly matters. Right? In the aligned state, the program that we built with Bronwyn, my guru, my secret weapon for the last 7 years that I've now basically let the whole world utilize. That's what we did. We built that program, and it's at startup phase, right? I think we've got 3-4 people signed up in literally the first day that we went live, and I think we're about 10 now, right? So the reality of it is, we don't care how many people we bring on. We want the right people. Right? Because what we're going to be doing is teaching people the same shit. So what every no to something unaligned is a yes to something that truly matters to you. And finally, probably the most important thing is to recognize that you can't do everything. Okay? Your energy and time are finite resources that need protecting.
Yeah. Dude, some powerful.
Pumped.
Mate, what are some practical, actionable ways our listeners can start saying no without guilt or fear?
Firstly, fear of false expectations that appear real, and guilt. If you've done nothing wrong, why are you feeling guilty, right? So the first thing you need to do is you need to say, let me get back to you. to avoid the impulsive fucking yeses, right?
Mm.
So pause before committing, right?
Yep.
Pause before committing, right? That sounded like I did a full repeat, but I did, right?
Yeah.
Communicate your boundaries respectfully, right? I'm at capacity and I can't take this on right now. So be honest and kind. Be honest and kind. Now, my LinkedIn inbox is through the roof. We've got a new sell by chat sequence going that our VAs are running for us because we master those and we can outsource that for our clients,
Yeah.
and we do. And I've got what, like 18 people that want to have a conversation, right? And I literally say to them, mate, you're talking about March if you want to talk to me, but why don't I put you in a chat with one of my coaches, right? And I've got 4 coaches in our programs. You're one of them, which is huge, right? And I say, why don't I put you on the call with one of my coaches, see what it is that you need to unpack, and then if you are the right fit, and they think that there is value in you chatting to me, then you can chat to me.
Mm.
And you get half the people that go, mate, you're a bit fucking arrogant, aren't you? I'm like, I'm one of the best consultants in the world, right? My time is important. If you can't respect my time, right, then why would I want to? Why would I want to work with you, right?
Mm.
And some people say, great, Christian, psychology wise, that's creating FOMO, but it's not. It's true. I'm just protecting my time.
Yeah.
So being honest and kind about it is really important. Look, what you got to do is you got to point them towards someone else or provide a resource instead of committing yourself, right? So offer solutions. The amount of people that I say, hey, listen, I'm not the right fit for you, but go and see this person, right? Mate, it builds so many great partnerships and values, right? And
Mm.
what people say is like, well, hang on a minute, but I really want to work with you. I think, remember Bianca? She messaged me. I said, look, I'm not the right person for you. You're too small. But mate, my business partner, Adrian, definitely can help you on LinkedIn. Definitely, she was your client for what, 3 fucking years and was also a client in our outsourcing business. And, you helped her build a massive fitness business in the US that was huge for her, right? So,
Yeah.
that's just one really easy example that just came to mind. I think
Yeah.
the other thing is when you're clear, right? When you're really clear on what matters the most to you and your business and your family, it's easier to say no to those distractions, right? And that's where your point, I think in another podcast that we talked about, was prioritization, right? Be really clear. If you are Dan Martell calls it the 100% rule, right? 100% clarity, 100% belief, 100% of the time. If you have the 300% rule, you will not be stoppable. You will be unstoppable all the time. And I think
Mm.
the last part, right, is practice short scripts, things that you say over and over again. I got to admit, I'm not that great at this, but uh, thank you for thinking of me, but I'll need to pass this time, right?
Mm.
Like say it, say it. Say it. You say that. Thank you for thinking of me, but I'll need to pass this time.
Thank you for thinking of me, but I'll need to pass it this time.
You struggle to say that,
I did.
right? And so do so many people. And whereas I don't, thank you for thinking of me, and but I'll need to pass this time, man. No problems, right? Because I go, bang, I don't need it, right? Like you're not the right fit for me. You're not that person. Coaches, consultants out there, right? Stop working with people that drain your fucking time.
Yeah. Dude.
Boom.
Powerful. Boom. Double boom. Thank you for thinking of me, Christian, but I'm going to need to pass this time, buddy. How's that?
That's great. I love it. Perfect.
Boom. Yeah, it's repetition. Mate, many people struggle with guilt or fear when saying no, right? They're a bit slow with getting the words out, like I was just before. What advice would you give them to overcome these emotional barriers?
Look, I've said it before. You're not rejecting the person, you're protecting your time and energy, right?
Mm.
Recognize that true professionals respect boundaries. It's not personal. And I guess the last thing on that is, practice self compassion, right? The
Mm.
guilt fades when you see how much value saying no adds to your life and work. Man, I
Yeah.
got, I got staff members who fucking absolutely suck at saying no, right? They don't protect their time at all. And then they go, well, you're yelling at me now. I'm like, man, I've been asking for the same shit, right? And you've got a to-do list that's like 30 times longer than a human can sustainably do. But it's your fault. No, it's your fault. You keep saying yes to me. You've got to say no. Does that make sense? And I sometimes do this on purpose to my team until it just boom. And it's like, oh my God. And it's like, I do it to my team, I do it to my clients. right? Want to jump on a call? I'm free, right? Oh my God, yes, I want to jump on a call with you. Yes, yes. And it's like, do you need to be on the call with me? Aren't you meant to be in a meeting? Oh, but I'll move the meeting. Man, I'm fucking with you. I don't want to get on a call with you. I'm trying to teach you the boundaries. Right? You know me. I'm always constantly, messing with my clients' heads because I want to teach them the values that I play by. I think
Mm,
that's so important as a consultant, as a coach, is that you do that. And if you're one of those people that struggles with this, mate, reach out to us. Reach out to any of us in our team, and we'll give you a slap. Like no problem. And it's not a physical slap. It's more often than not an emotional slap.
mm. Dude, very interesting. Something that just come to mind for me as you were saying that
Yes.
is, knowing when you're free in your week, right? So it makes it easier to say no or to say, this is when I have time. One point you said was, I can't speak to you in until March, but I can put you onto one of our coaches, right? It's
Yeah.
very
We
powerful.
we filmed a podcast on this
Yeah.
not so long ago, exactly on maximizing your time and calendarization. You know, maybe anyone listening should go back and listen to some of those podcasts. If you're new to this,
Yeah.
go back and listen. Everything that we do has practical insights from our experience as coaches and consultants for the last 30 years, right?
Mm,
Clearly, I'm older than Adrian, so I contribute to the age of experience a bit longer. But, Adrian's been a coach, what is it now? 8 years, man. Like you've been doing it
mm,
and you've done it across three different types of businesses. I've been consulting, for 25 years and running my own companies, all 80 of them, with over
mm.
200 staff at any given time. And we turn chaos into order, right? And a
Mm.
lot of it is done by saying no.
Yeah. Dude, let's end on a high note. Did you
Oh,
like
really? We
that?
have to end it?
Dude, did you like that? Did you like my singing
Yeah,
voice?
yeah. You, you,
Mate,
you're, you're
what
like a
benefits
soprano.
have you seen for those who master the art of saying no?
Oh, I can only talk about myself and my clients, right? What it does when you learn to say no more than you say yes, it frees up your time for the most important work, right? You feel less stressed and more in control. You make room for high quality opportunities that align with your goals, more time with your family. It's freedom, man. It's freedom. And what you do is you gain the respect from others for their clarity and their professionalism. The amount of people that come back to me that respect my time frames and like people that I go, hey, listen, I haven't got anything till March, and then they say, no, that's cool, I'll wait. When they get on the call, they remember that and they say, thank you for making the time. And those people, I learn very quickly, are the right fit in the first 5 minutes of the
Mm.
conversation. So it also helps me close deals, right? If you're going to be one of those people that's going to be in a call, now there are times where I've got time and I'll literally go, actually, man, I've got a time now. And I'll actually ring someone who's on my wait list and I'll say, hey, I've got some time coming up. I know it's short notice, but someone else has bailed out. Do you want to have a chat? And people go, yep, cool. No, I want to keep to my boundaries. Perfect. I'll honor that.
Mm. Dude, I love that.
Boom.
And those people that are keeping to their boundaries,
Yep, absolutely.
they're the perfect clients.
Perfect clients.
Christian, this has been such a valuable and rich conversation, I want to say, bro. That's another word that come to mind for me today.
Rich.
What are three takeaways you'd like our listeners to walk away with?
Oh, just three.
Three.
Understand every no is a yes to your priorities.
Mhm.
Absolutely. It's one of my favorite sayings. Practice saying no in small ways to build your confidence, and probably protecting your energy is essential for your long-term success and impact. So
Mm.
that's one of the biggest reasons why you should say no.
Dude, super duper powerful. Learning to say no is one of the most empowering skills you can master. Subscribe to Growth Beyond Hustle for more tools to protect your time and energy. And if you're enjoying the podcast, please leave us a review and tell your friends about us, right?
Yeah.
And if you need support to free up your schedule, our virtual assistant services at Growth Outsource are here to help. Dude, until next time, grow beyond hustle.
See you, brother. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.
Boom.
That's a wrap on this episode of Growth Beyond Hustle. We hope you got some real value out of today's conversation on protecting your time and energy. And remember, saying no isn't about shutting doors, it's about making space for the right opportunities. The more you set boundaries, the more you find yourself focused, productive, and in control of your business. If you enjoyed this episode, do us a favor, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on the notifications so you never miss another episode. If you're ready to free up your time, stop wearing all the hats, check out Growth Outsourced, our trained virtual assistants, and take those repetitive tasks off your plate so you can focus on what truly matters.